Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. This is a debrief of day one of BravoCon, which was yesterday. It started on a Friday. It is a 3-day extravaganza. So welcome to Sandra P's GenXtra. And if you have already liked the video, thank you. If you have not, go ahead and like the video. If you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and subscribe. I'm headed out for day two. I had to be more strategic today. It is convention style. BravoCon is exhausting. It's exhilarating. They have so many different things going on at once that you have to have an actual schedule in order to be able to do anything. So luckily they gave an app, so we have the capability to. There is a schedule, and it has like all these different things going on at once. So there are different panels, all this kind of stuff, giveaways, a few extra things you will need a ticket to. For instance, yesterday, we found out during the Real Housewives of Potomac panel, which I was there live for. That was the best panel yesterday. It was amazing. All the ladies came out except for Jazzy, but Jazzy's a friend of, she was not there. They came out, they were amazing. I'll talk a little bit about the panel, but someone revealed Giselle, of course, because she has nothing else going on. The Grand Dame is in Vegas, so she revealed that. Karen didn't come out during the panel, which I expected her to. Andy Cohen saved Karen for, this is pre-recorded, y'all, so I'm sorry. I'll be in the chat, but I'm not answering, recording, okay? So Giselle revealed that Karen Huger is indeed in Vegas for this BravoCon weekend. Andy Cohen saved her for a ticket-only event. Now, that is a little trifling, Andy Cohen and Bravo, because these tickets, I don't know what people talking about they were not selling. I don't know if they sold out. I don't know what capacity was, but there was a huge crowd there yesterday, the first day. So I was more strategic today. The doors open at 9 for VIP, open at 9:30 for general admission. I have a general admission pass. So what they do is they scan your, that's this. They scan your bracelet for everything. Got like a reusable water bottle, different stuff, little gifts you get, you scan your bracelet. So many different things going on at once that you kind of have to be strategic about it or you'll just exhaust yourself. I got there at 9 yesterday, waited. There was a line that wrapped around the building. I'm not going to do that today. I'm going to be there in time for the first panel that I want to attend. So in addition to schedule, they have schedule and then they have my schedule. So when I click on my schedule, I can add something to my schedule. I'm not going to the Love Hotel thing because Ashley cheated them people. Ashley Darby was still rolling around with that. I forgot what Wendy called him. So the first panel I'm going to go to today is the Traders, which is later today. So they're going to have a lot of the housewives and Bravo celebrities that have appeared on Traders. So I am excited to do that. I'm looking forward to that. And I'll just tell you a little bit about the panels from yesterday. The Bravo host that they use is called Zuri Hall. I'm not familiar with the young lady. She looks familiar to me. She looks like a younger Cynthia Bailey. So, of course, they started off with Dr. Wendy, y'all. When I tell you, I took a picture of the screen because I couldn't really take a close picture of them based on where I was seated. They have a section where VIP gets closer to the stage, which is fair because those, if my tickets were $600 for the 3 days, 600 plus with taxes and fees, I can imagine what VIP paid. So they sit a little bit closer, and then they have a next area for general admission. So Wendy and Stacey are very close. They're holding hands and looking at each other and talking. And the host, Zuri Hall, says, we're going to start with Wendy and these allegations. Wendy wants to thank all of her fans, all of the people that reached out to her first. She said that it's Stacey and Monique that reached out first. So we see you, Monique, trying to get on in there, trying to get in there. Now, Monique is a friend of, and she was there. She was looking amazing. So I wonder why Jazzy wasn't there. They said she's pregnant, but that would be early. She could still travel, right? So Wendy's is saying these were allegations, so I cannot say much. The crowd was oohing and awing. There were people by me that were laughing and not very impressed with what Dr. Wendy was saying, but I was saying, tell him, Dr. Wendy, you got a lot of Bravo celebrities with a lot of charges, and You and Happy Eddie shouldn't be the only ones that are, this is innocent until proven guilty. Insurance company think you did it, okay? But this is innocent, still proven guilty. Wendy is saying, chin up. My children, they play sports, and I tell them, no matter how it looks, chin up. This season is good. She says that we have not gotten to the meat and potatoes. Wendy says that she's looking forward to the viewers seeing Monique's return. They have another trip, y'all. There's another trip that Wendy calls catastrophic. So I'm anxious to see what's going to happen in this trip. She says that all the women showed up to make a great season 10. So Giselle, I don't know what question she was asked, but she's talking about Monique too. Y'all doing a lot of talking about this friend of y'all. I think they're going to weaponize Monique against Stacey. Stacey got the biggest applause when she came out from the BravoCon audience. We loved Stacey. Giselle and Ashley's faces were looking cracked and crunchy. That's just my opinion. From my perspective, that's what I saw. They're very jealous, especially Bobblehead Darby. She's jealous of Stacey, y'all. And also, before they show the panel, they show a preview of like what else is going on. And Stacey is going to get into it with Tia. Stacey's going to kick Tia out of somewhere. I think this is during the trip. And she said, enough of you, be gone, toodle-doo. And the audience erupted, just screaming, laughing, everything. I mean, it's a little silly, but Stacey, so it was funny, just the way she said it. She pulled out her QVC voice, honey, and she dismissed Tia. And I think Tia stood up to go. I don't think you can throw me out with a toodle-doo, but Stacey did. So Giselle, someone asked her a question. They took audience questions. They had the people lined up on each side. Y'all, it was funny. There is a creator named Alexander Rogers. Alexander has been known to read, to drag. They were using his question that he asked to Kyle Richards last year before last. Kyle referenced it in the season. That man asked about Teddy. He was standing in line, and then his friend C Diggy One is the creator also. I saw Chris too. I didn't take a picture with him. I saw him, and I didn't want to bother him. He was moving around like I was, just trying to see different people and different things. But they were in line behind a lady. There was one lady and then like two more people. And then they cut the line right in front of before Chris, C Diggy One, or Alexander Rogers could ask their question. Y'all, I think those people saw Alexander Rogers, and I think they got scared and was like, no, we can't have him do that. He asked the question later, but it was on another panel. I think it was Beverly Hills. He didn't drag them this year. But he didn't get to ask Real Housewives of Potomac a question, and I wanted him to. So Giselle was saying, Monique has been gone for 5 years. We've had a lot of conversations. The past is the past. Let's move forward. And then they asked the question to Kay, whether or not. So I see a thaw between Giselle and Monique. I'm disappointed in Monique, y'all. I was waiting for her to come back, and now I think she's going to let Giselle use her against Stacey, the same way they weaponized her against Candace and had her fighting Candace when the only one she should have been upset with was Bobblehead Darby. Remember Ashley telling people that Monique had a drink at her house and ran into a median or something, and she was drinking and driving? Ashley was the one that put that out there. But now her and Monique are lying. They're saying they've been friends and they've been together for 10 years off and on. I don't believe it, y'all. I think it's an alliance. So Kay is saying she's genuinely disappointed that Wendy and she didn't develop their friendship. I'm seeing in Wendy, she's not a girl's girl. I see that in Wendy, and I'm disappointed in her a little bit. So she says that they had a conversation, but it was not a conversation that was able to get them in the best place, y'all. Kiana, give it up. This lady cares nothing about you. She cares about herself, Happy Eddie, her children, and her standing and position in society. I can't knock Wendy for that, but I'm clear what I'm looking at. So Kiana, give it up. So Kiana and Angel had each other's back. Angel, everybody looked beautiful. Giselle, I don't know what she had on. It looked like a slip to me. It was a white skirt and it was a slip top. I didn't understand like wearing that in public. I didn't take a picture of her. If I find it somewhere, I'll show it to you. But I couldn't understand it, what she was wearing. So Angel was asked about her season. She said, just give it a chance. Keep watching her. It's hard navigating, but she said, Angel says that she recognizes that this is a once in a lifetime opportunity and once in a lifetime experience. She says it can be, but she said she learned you can be shady and still have deep friendships. She said, maybe not with me, but I understand how other people can do it. So I understand what Angel was saying. Kay said, you don't need to have an alliance if you're real friends. She piped in to say that while they were on stage, and I had to agree with her. Angel says, coming in the group, she wanted to get to know everyone individually. People think that Kierna gave her a lot of earful about this one and that one, and that shaped her opinion. Angel is saying she listened, but it did not shape her opinion. Her experience with those different people shaped her opinion. And Zuri, the moderator, wanted to know what Wendy think. Kay jumped up and said, we don't need for Wendy to comment. And I laughed. Everybody laughed because remember earlier, Wendy was asked and she said no comment. So Zuri Hall, why are you asking Wendy to comment now when she wouldn't comment when it was her turn to comment? So I thought that was funny. Kay said, we don't need Wendy to comment. And Wendy didn't comment either. Ashley talked about her 3-year divorce. Actually, we don't care about you divorcing that old man. We don't care. The only thing I cared about, Ashley said, her father died a few months ago. So a lot of things have been brought into perspective. She says, you went with me when I went to his door. He slammed the door in my face in season 5 or so. That was the only time I had compassion for Bobblehead Darby. That man did do that to her on TV. So the father slammed the door in her face. Let's see what else we had on this panel. This was, as I said, this was the best panel. Beverly Hills was good, but Real Houses of Potomac was great. So Giselle, for some reason, Zuri Hall asked Stacey, what about this relationship that you're saying that Giselle has? So Giselle's automatically, I don't know what does Stacey know that I don't know? I don't know. Stacey's eyes wide open. I don't know what she's talking about. Giselle says, speak on it, sis. So the audience starts, hyping her up. They're trying to get something started. Giselle says, I am dating. He's in Vegas and he makes me happy every day. So we applauded that. Much more power to you, Giselle. To a man making you happy every day. I love it. Start with yourself and then move on from there. So then they go to Tia, who is a newbie. And then Zuri. Now, I didn't like this. This lady was trying to drum up something against Stacey because when Stacey came out, she did get the biggest applause. She asked Tia what she thought about Stacey saying on Watch What Happened Live that her accent might have been fake. Tia says that Stacey suggests a lot of things that aren't necessarily true. Giselle pipes up. She said, if the accent is fake, it is consistent. That's Tia's accent. It's not a fake accent. They can take it on or off, but I don't believe it's fake. Zuri asked Wendy if she's bonding with Tia as a Nigerian. Wendy says, Tia's my favorite newbie. Wendy, I don't believe you. I don't think you have a favorite newbie. I think Wendy saw the response that she got from the way she treated Nneka. We thought that as Nigerians, they would have something in common. And Dr. Wendy did everything in her power to kind of undermine Nneka and finally push her out. I felt she didn't have the power to do that, but she certainly was instrumental. And Nneka was kind of boring too, y'all. But she would have given us something. She had a baby. She had the lifestyle. So her and her husband would have given us something. And I will always just give it up to her husband the way he shut that Osun, what I forgot the name, conversation down. It's taboo. We don't talk about it. So I love that. Giselle says, I brought her into the group. And Wendy says, boo. I don't know what she meant by that. Did you mean you wanted to introduce Tia, Wendy? I didn't know that. So I didn't know what she meant. Angel spoke a little bit more. Monique kept, y'all, I think she was trying to pick at Angel. Monique is saying, well, I reached out to Angel as us having things in common. We both have husbands that were in the NFL. We both have children. We both were working mothers. We this, we that. And Angel had to speak up for herself. And she said, I appreciate anyone that reached out to me sincerely. I appreciate Monique reaching out to me. We don't live the same life. My husband and I work together. We're raising these children. Some other stuff Angel was saying about herself. But she does appreciate Monique reaching out to her. And Monique said something about that. I realized that she was having a difficult entry. Monique, you don't know what's going on with Angel. One thing I don't think Angel will do, I don't think Angel's going to fight anybody on behalf of someone else like Monique did with Giselle. Monique fought Candace on behalf of Giselle and Robin, and you can't convince me that she didn't. And I think she's coming in again, probably going to be weaponized against Stacey. I hope I'm wrong. But the fact that Monique is back, and she's back in the capacity that she's back, friend of, I think she's going to try to ramp it up. She says that's a little check. She don't need it, but she's back. So we'll see what happened. Angel did thank her. She appreciated. So Zuri Hall, the host, wanted to see if there's anything else they wanted to share. Giselle says that the reunion is going to be popping. They're going to save any more things that they want to tell us until then. So Ashley is saying that Giselle's her girl, this, that, and the other. Ashley was lying, y'all. Her and Giselle are not that close. The only reason they have anything now is because it's no longer the Green-Eyed Bandits since Robin has been paused. She's not gone. She's just on ice because Robin is in Vegas. She's going to be on a panel. She's going to be on the Traders panel. So she's still in the Bravo Celebrity universe. I don't hate Robin Dixon. I didn't like Robin Dixon telling the audience to kiss her A about Juan when we all knew what Juan is out there doing and in public and washing clothes with women. You washing clothes with a woman? You at the laundromat talking about that's the team's uniform. Get out of here, Juan and Robin. So a lady stood up, one of the audience, she questioned Ashley. She says, give me a specific example of when Giselle stood up for you and it wasn't self-serving to Giselle. Giselle said, well, dang. So we all laughed at that. Y'all, Giselle is very charismatic. She's beautiful. She's charismatic. She's funny. I still think she's a sneaky snake though, y'all. And I drag her when I get ready. Giselle's a trip. So Ashley, she's humana. She could not come up with a specific example. So she's going to switch it. She's going to change to another direction. She says, well, there was one thing I did want to say because time's coming to an end. It wasn't, but she wants to end it. I tried to apologize to Wendy backstage. You wouldn't look at me. She's looking at Wendy. Wendy's doing one of these. Wendy's not looking at Ashley, y'all. Wendy's paying Ashley dust. Dr. Wendy, you so cold. I love it. And y'all, Dr. Wendy is very strategic. She was dressed in all white. Let me show you who Wendy had on. Dr. Wendy was up there looking like an angel, y'all. I found that so funny. I said, look at Dr. Wendy in all white, talking about these are allegations only. You've been charged, my love. You have a court date coming up. Now, you're still innocent until proven guilty, but she was angelic. I tell you that. So Ashley's trying to apologize. She realizes that not all of the audience is going to hate Wendy over these charges. I think it's a little, I wish none of this had happened, but it did. So then she diverts from the lady's question about give an example when Giselle stood up. She could not. She said, I tried to apologize to you backstage. You wouldn't talk to me. So I want to tell you in front of everybody, in front of the BravoCon audience, I want to apologize to Wendy, whether you accept it or not. Wendy says, not. She's still not looking at Ashley. The audience erupts, y'all. We found that funny. Screaming, we were laughing. So Giselle says, Giselle says, I have one thing. Don't assume that because Ashley and Wendy aren't friends, that I'm not friends with Wendy. I am. Wendy is a dear friend. So Giselle's still holding on to Wendy, y'all. They don't want to isolate Wendy and look a certain way. Giselle says, and a lot of people were insinuating in the Bravo universe that I would drop Wendy because of these charges. She said, y'all, give me a little credit. Give me a break. So that was the end of that. Another panel I sat in on, Jeff Lewis hosted Andy with questions. They said they have known each other for 18 years. And he is the executive producer of, there's a show Jeff Lewis has coming out called Still Flipping Out. It's his real estate show, but it's going to be focused also on his radio show. And Jeff lets us know, he says, listen, when I found out that Flipping Out wasn't coming back, he said, I never quit my day job. So I'm still able to do what I do. So Jeff was asking the State of the Union of Orange County. Andy claims he loved the Amsterdam trip. He loved seeing Shannon and Heather on mushrooms. Jeff is complaining that OC has become to where people want to be a professional reality star. And he was like, where's their question? Anytime Jeff would criticize Andy, Andy got very agitated, but I loved the energy of Jeff Lewis. Jeff Lewis, Andy might be his boss. Jeff Lewis don't give a doggone. He does not care. I loved it. Andy claims he feels that when people come on the show, they won't give up their career. They want to see their real lives. Andy, you know these people are not doing that. So Andy says that next week, Salt Lake City is going to be his favorite episode coming up. Jeff says, you've been very well media trained. And he was. Anytime Andy didn't want to answer something, he would slide right along. So Jeff was asking Andy, what about the affluent housewives? You're not doing that anymore? He said, because the housewives that are coming on now, they don't really have it. He said, didn't Monica Garcia just get her benefits frozen? Y'all, the audience was like, ooh, they were murmuring. And I see that Monica Garcia, she was from Salt Lake City. She was a reality Vonti. I see that she tweeted, F you, Jeff Lewis. She called him elitist and all this stuff. But y'all, she didn't have it like that. Housewives, to me, is aspirational, something to aspire to. And there's a spot for people that you have it and then maybe you lose it. But all this robbing Peter to pay Paul and everything, I'm sorry, y'all. I agree with Jeff Lewis. Jeff asked Andy, who's the most hated housewife? Andy started hemming and hawing. Then he said, you. Jeff said, no, the actual housewives. There's not one person. People in the audience were saying, Nene. He was like, no. And he said, I only deal in love. And he says he found that the audience doesn't like hypocrites. True. And he said that can change from week to week. He said Mary Cosby had an arc that people didn't understand her. They didn't really like her. She took a break herself, came back. He said she used to be in a Sprinter van, eating McDonald's. Now she's a voice of reason on the show. Someone asked him, what is the last meal he would have with a Bravo celebrity? He said it would have to be the OGs. He said Vicky, Luann, so Vicky from OC, Luann from New York, Candy. Y'all, he loved Candy. I don't care what y'all say. He loved himself some Candy Burrs. Candy from Atlanta, Kyle Richards, Beverly Hills. That's another OG he loved. Can't do nothing about it. Giselle from Potomac. We can't do nothing about that, y'all. Those are the people he put on his Bravo celebrity last meal, Andy Cohen. So Jerry O'Connell gets up and asks the question. He's a super fan. He is gorgeous. He's skinny though, y'all. He's so cute. He's got his hair long, got his little glasses on. Jeff and Andy, So the audience was screaming, laughing. And then Andy says, I don't want to ever retire, but if I do, I choose Jerry O'Connell to take my place and not you, Jeff Lewis. So we thought that was really funny, y'all. That was the end of that. I was sitting right where Jerry O'Connell was. I was sitting right like where the people asked the questions, right behind VIP. I had the first row behind him because I get there early and then just stay. And he walked by. Everyone that wanted a picture with Jerry O'Connell, he took it. So next was the Beverly Hills panel. Y'all, I lost my notes from the Beverly Hills panel. I will have to say that the only person that wasn't there, Rachel Zoe got the biggest applause, okay? She used to be on the Rachel Zoe project. She got the biggest applause. Her, Kathy Hilton, the audience is sometime on Kyle, but like I said, Andy Cohen loves Kyle. Trying to think of if anything juicy came out. Not really. Kyle talked, they showed a big preview. We're going to see more about Kyle, what she's going through with Mauricio, her daughters. She's planning a wedding. Farrah, the 36-year-old, put her wedding on hold. She told that man, let's keep waiting. So the 26-year-old she got next. She's getting married. They're planning a wedding. Portia is 17 now, y'all. We watched her be 2 years old, and she's 17. Alexander Rogers, y'all. He got her. He got through Bravo security, and he said, Kyle, being the most seasoned member of Beverly Hills, what more do you have to share? Kyle recognized him. She narrowed her eyes. She says, well, when I first started, I'm a wife, I'm a mother, I'm an actress. I had a 2-year-old. We were featuring her birthday party, and now that 2-year-old is 17 years old. I'm going through a divorce. I'm planning a wedding. That's right, Kyle. You get Alexander Rogers because he do too much. He was being real slick. So y'all, I'm going to go take this van back over to the venue. Just join me down in the comments. If you have any questions, I will be in here. I'm going to do a premiere of this sometime today, and I'll be in the comments. So if there's anything else you want to see, I'll try to get more video today. I will join you later on in the Vegas streets, okay? Not the YouTube streets, but the Vegas streets. you'll be there with me with Sandra P's GenXtra. So just go ahead and click the like button. If you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. And thank you so much, everybody. Bye.